nobody wants to talk about.
I'm fucking great.
It doesn't show train lines or bus routes.
Okay.
It shows a war.
The gang
Right.
violence.
See. One thing I always loved, or I don't want to say I love, but I just noticed, if you from a city, I don't know if this goes for other races, but if you a black person from a city, you know where the gang violence be at. I'm fucking great. Like, it's just an undisclosed, unspoken, I don't even know what to call it, but we all know what, you know what I'm saying, from Chicago, we all know where the hot zones is. Like, even if you've never been over here, you can look around and be like, yeah, I ain't supposed to be over here on Photo Grave. I need to move around.
This shit real, don't play.
He just started shooting at the man on the porch.
A war that's been raging for decades across neighborhoods, parks, and even single blocks. Decades ago, Chicago's gangs were split into two massive alliances, the People Nation and the Folk Nation. But today,
on the south
those
side,
two alliances
on the south side
are
at least,
fractured into more than 100 different sets,
right,
each fighting for their own corner of the city.
Using
exclusive data from the Chicago Office of Public Safety, we've mapped all these different territories down to the exact streets where these invisible borders are drawn. From the most notorious gangs to the deadliest blocks, we've mapped it all. This is Chicago's gang war mapped. One of the more famous rivalries in Chicago's gang world is between the Black Disciples and the Gangster Disciples.
Right, I'm fucking great.
Their most contested blocks are in Chicago's South Side, centered around the Parkway Gardens neighborhood.
It ain't just Parkway.
Known as O Block.
I guess one thing you always hear about is the O Block.
Is it really that bad?
Yes. 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 It's not a joke. You will get smoked. And no get it out of that.
O Block generally runs from 66th Street in the south to 63rd Street in the north, and then from South Calumet Ave in the west to South King Drive in the east. But much of this violence spills into the surrounding neighborhoods. O Block and Parkway Gardens once stood as a working class neighborhood for many black families who were migrating to the Midwest. It was even home to Michelle Obama when she was a child.
It's crazy how things
changed.
changed.
In the 1990s, gang violence grew. The nearby Harold Ikes and Robert Taylor homes were demolished, scattering all their residents and their gang affiliations into the surrounding neighborhoods.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, tearing down a project was one of the best things Chicago ever did, but one of the worst things Chicago ever did. Because tearing down a project's like, it dispersed a lot of crime, right? Because it was a high crime area. It was just a lot of shit going on over there. It was bad, like real bad. But all the good it did a lot of bad, because it just separated all the gangs and it kind of made them war with each other and beef with each other, and people, you know, it's weird as hell. Like, even with FYBJ Bank, he from the Calumet building. He's low-key BD. I'm fucking great. He's went GD because it's how things happen and where he moved to, which is crazy.
Much of the Gangster Disciples ended up moving above 63rd Street and also into the Woodlawns neighborhood. At the time, the Black Disciples already had a strong presence in the Parkway's Garden neighborhood, which meant the Black Disciples and the Gangster Disciples were now living directly next to each other. It's said that the hard borders between the two groups run down 63rd Street and Vernon Avenue. A walk across either of these streets means that you're walking into enemy territory. At first, it was mostly just small shootings and fistfights, largely over online insults.
Right.
But then things exploded in 2011.
That's not what happened,
when a
though.
Black disciple named O.D. Perry was shot and killed on the 6400 block of South King Drive.
See, it wasn't over online disputes. I'm gonna watch this to correct a lot of the info, because these white boys don't know what the hell they be talking about. It wasn't over online disputes. It happened because a lot of people was from the Calumet building, and then they went to different neighborhoods, and then they went to the same school. So, like, let's say, for example, Hyde Park on Funnel Grave or CVS, shit like that. They went to these schools, and they went to the school. I got my group of people, you got your group of people, we got little cliques, and then we end up getting into it. And then eventually, after getting into it and fighting, people got tired of getting their ass beat. And then they stopped fighting and started shooting. That's all that happened. People was getting their ass beat, people was getting their hoe took, people was getting extorted. It was a lot of there's a lot of backdoor activity going on, and then people got tired of getting their ass whooped, and then they started fighting. I mean, they started shooting, and then people started dying.
O.D.'s death became a turning point, and the Black Disciples named the block after him. O.D. Perry was very well known locally, and his death by Gangster Disciples meant a declaration of war.
We are getting reports of multiple people shot.
4 people shot.
Dozens of people shot.
52 people have been shot.
61 people shot.
90 people shot.
100 people were shot across the city.
These were deliberate and planned shootings by one gang against another.
St. Lawrence Avenue from 61st to 63rd Streets were the Gangster Disciples' main staging area, while the Parkway Gardens neighborhood from 66th to 64th Streets were the Black Disciples' main staging area.
Right.
Many shootouts then took place on the intersection of 63rd Street and South King Drive.
I'm funny because that's like the
Black
intersection.
Disciples were feeling risky, then they'd venture down 63rd Street heading east. And if the Gangster Disciples were feeling risky, then they'd head down 63rd Street to the west.
Right.
Gang on 64th, 65th, King Drive. And on 63rd, over here kind of to the left, they dirty and stuff. They be up there just doing stealing and doing all type of petty stuff. So we don't go up there with them. Oh no, something ain't right up there.
But it's funny how they be so petty to each other.
Because it's so close. We not from 63rd.
Between 2009 and 2015, the 63rd Street corridor had the highest concentration of homicides in all of Chicago, where most of these deaths came from gunfights involving teenagers.
A 14-year-old boy was shot around midnight.
16-year-old was shot in the chest.
Wounded 6 people, including 3 teenage
They
girls.
be like that.
But O-Block isn't just a battleground. O-Block became an extremely well-known brand.
Right.
Through rap and social media, its
Oh, bro,
reputation
that's
traveled
really how it
far
started
beyond
happening.
the south side of Chicago. Songs by local rappers like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and
Right,
King
right,
Von
right.
turned O-Block into a well-known hotspot of crime all across the country.
That's slutty. That's crazy. That's slutty right there, bro. I just feel so bad, bro, because a lot of people is dead or in jail. It's not funny, but damn. And I remember when he got Agent Dollar to the bro. When he came to the flea as hell with Agent Doll and passed out that cheese, I have never seen no shit like that to this day. He turned the city up. Like, he turned the rap game up, the city up. Like, I have never seen nothing like that to this day, gang. Never.
But today, the most violent parts of Chicago aren't the ones that are the most viral online. The deadliest gang wars have moved, and some of them are far more shocking than what happened here. Your personal information is everywhere.
Hold
from
on,
your
we ain't doing that, man. You didn't even give me a heads up about the ad. How the hell you gonna give me an ad? You don't give me a heads up about the ad, man. Get your goof ass on, man.
that make up these neighborhoods are the Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, and Black P-Stones.
Yeah, you can't forget about the
Within
Stones.
these neighborhoods, the group's main borders are always changing, but generally, the Gangster
Not for
Disciples
real.
dominate much of West Englewood and to the west of Oakton Park. Their
Yeah,
main
yeah, the
stronghold
GD is
within
definitely more
this
GDs than
region
BDs.
is from 55th Street to the north, running all the way down to 75th Street to the south. And then mainly to the south of Oakton Park are the Black P-Stones. The Black P-Stones may not occupy the front headlines the same way the Gangster Disciples and Black Disciples do, but they are still very dominant in the region. Their control tends to be more localized in a block-by-block scenario, rather than having a large expanse of territory. Although their territory may be smaller, they are known as one of the most ruthless gangs in Chicago.
No, for sure. They gotta
On
be.
November
Just because they
2nd,
smaller.
2015, a
In
9-year-old
numbers, they
named
weigh at
Tyshawn
least.
Lee was playing basketball with his friends at Dawes Park. Dawes Park is on the border of the Black P-Stones and Gangster Disciples territory, and Tyshawn's dad was in the Gangster Disciples. On that day Tyshawn and his friends were playing basketball, a man named D. Wright Boone Dottie approached the boys. D. Wright picked up the basketball, dribbled it a few times, and then gave it back to the boys. After that, D. Wright persuaded Tyshawn to leave the basketball court and come with him to the store across the street.
Right.
He promised Tyshawn that he would buy him something. Tyshawn then followed D. Wright into a nearby alley
Did
that
him
was out of
bogus.
view of the park.
Did him bogus.
There, D. Wright shot Tyshawn.
Did him bogus just because he couldn't get his daddy.
In
That's the start of the
Chicago
lot.
today, there was
That started a lot of BS. I want y'all to know that.
Murder of a 9-year-old boy.
Probably the most abhorrent, cowardly, unfathomable crime that I've witnessed in 35 years of policing.
Tyshawn's father, Pierre Stokes, was alleged by authorities to have ties to the Gangster Disciples. D. Wright and his other Black P-Stone brothers were going after the Gangster Disciples and Pierre for revenge over another killing that took place just days earlier. D. Wright and the Black P-Stones couldn't find Pierre, so they took out his 9-year-old son
Bogus as
instead.
hell. And that started, I ain't gonna lie, the effect that had started a lot of BS, bro, because just because he couldn't find his daddy, he ended up smoking his son. And that started a ripple effect, bro. That really started the killing the kids in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids was kind of already getting killed in crossfires and stuff, but this started like the targeting of kids getting killed. And it was really bogus.
Executing 9-year-old Tyshawn Lee will be locked up behind bars for decades. Dwight Boone Doty is a convicted triggerman. He was sentenced to 90 years. His accomplice, Corey Morgan, sentenced to 65.
Basically life.
And then the
You
third
gonna die.
group competing for the Englewood and West Englewood neighborhoods are the Black Disciples. The Black Disciples control much of the region to the east of Oakton Park and are especially dominant around Englewood High School.
Yeah.
On Normal Boulevard, the Black Disciples are known to be extremely present here. Englewood High School is caught in the middle of the gang violence, and the high school struggles because of it.
Police on scene tell me this was a brawl that involved at least 100 students here at Englewood STEM High School.
At this school, every time you turn around, it's fights all the time.
Englewood High School had a graduation rate of only 62%. They also have 87% of the students marked as chronically absent, meaning they missed 10 or more days of school a year. Getting to and from school for these students can also be tricky. If you live on a Black Disciple block and have to walk home from school through Black Disciple controlled streets, it's safer to just be one of them than to be part of a rival gang or even seen as neutral. Because many families in Englewood face deep poverty and minimal access to after-school programs.
That's because if you seen as neutral, you kind of seem like people won't mess with you for real, but they'll rob you and do like little stupid ass shit. That's why people be joining gangs. They kind of got to for their safety, but it's also just like, if I'm gonna go to school, I gotta be a part of this, and if I be a part of this, then other people gonna see me as part of it, and I'm gonna die. It's just really, it's a messed up situation, but at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation, bro. That's why joining a gang is just bad. But some people don't be having a choice, man. And I really wish that we could do something about it. But until the city of Chicago comes together and actually like put a stop to this gang violence and this gang war shit, it ain't never gonna get better, man.